Good morning. I just wanted to share something with you so that I could not only get it off my chest, but if you have these thoughts that run through your head sometimes, that you know that it's normal as well. Sometimes, sorry, that dang cold. I still have times where I think, is this real? Am I really talking to the other side? You know, or not. I mean, you know, and I'll sit there and I'll think about it. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's not that often, but there are times when I'll get down or I'll be, you know, or I'll get attacked a lot, and then it'll make me second guess myself. Like, is this all real? Is this all real? Well, I want to share a story with you guys about something that happened to me when I first came out as a psychic. This is probably about 3 years ago, and I won't mention any names. I never will. But I was in a shop, a metaphysical store that I was volunteering my time at, and there was a girl there who didn't like her from day one. And she kept telling the owner of the shop that my energy was chaotic and, you know, on and on. Obviously, she doesn't know that if you're a medium, your energy's always going to feel a little chaotic. Needless to say, one day they were trying to help me, and she pulled me in the back room, and she was going to help me. I can't remember what she said she was going to help me with. Well, anyways, her dad was standing over in the corner in spirit, and sometimes this is literally how it works. It will just spit out of my mouth, and it just spit out of my mouth. So when are we going to talk about your dad? And she looked dumbfounded. She said, she got very angry. She didn't want to talk about her dad. Her dad had done something, I don't know. I only know what I'm supposed to know, and that's it. So she, you know, tells me that her dad had said some things before he passed that were very hurtful, which is between her, me, and spirit. So that part I'm not going to share. Anyways, this is before I knew not to let them get into my body. And he did. He got inside of my body. Well, he hadn't crossed over. And I knew something had happened to his brain because he couldn't make words to me. So it was almost like I was translating his thoughts. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but his mannerisms, my whole face had changed, and his mannerisms were in my face, in my eyes, everything. Scared the hell out of her. Then her mother in spirit followed me home, and I didn't know at the time that her mother in life was a witch. And that will come into play in just a second. Anyways, she followed me home, and she pretty much let me know that she didn't like the way I had done that to her daughter. She stayed with me all night, and she showed me about her entire life. I mean, she showed me that her and her sister liked to dress alike. She showed me outfits that they had that looked exactly alike. She told me they went, I can still remember. She told me that they used to go skate on a pond. She talked to me all night. Anyways, the bottom line with her was she wanted me to have enough information to go back to give to her daughter the very next day, which she insisted, so that her daughter would know it was her, so that she could cross her father over. So I did it. I went the next day, and I gave her the information. She had me write it down. The mom in spirit had me write it down on a piece of paper. Dad hasn't crossed over, and just some other stuff. Anyways, I sat down with her, and she never really liked me. And at this point, she was kind of afraid of me because I guess, of seeing somebody else's face show up over mine. Anyways, I told her all these things that her mom had said, and she finally jumped up and said, "You're talking about my mom." And I go, "Okay." As soon as she said that, I handed her the paper, and I left. I went home. Apparently, this girl also did witchcraft, which I didn't know at the time. So the next day I was supposed to go over and help them with inventory. Well, I get there and everybody in the shop is there. And no, okay, hold on. Let me retrace, because it was a couple days later, because okay, I forgot to tell you guys something. Okay, so that next night I had a dream. And in my dream was my worst fear, which I'm not going to say out loud. Spirit already knows, so I'm not going to share with anybody else. Anyways, it was in my dream. So horrifically that my husband said that I screamed, "Help me," so loud and so upset that he woke me up and held me the rest of the night. The very next night, I had a dream that maggots were coming out of my gums. My teeth were coming out and maggots were coming up out of my mouth. Hundreds and hundreds of maggots were coming out of my mouth. And, okay, so back to me going to the shop to do inventory. I still think it was... there was something going on there. Anyways, the girl that I think caused the whole thing was sitting down on the floor, pretending like she had been up all night with seizures. I think she was the one that caused it. All of it. Magic's real. People can fuck with you. It's extremely real. That's why a lot of people do special prayers, or they ground and shield, and they have protection stones before they go to sleep. In some countries and some places of the world, this is more accepted. We're in the United States, and not so much. But let me tell you, it's extremely real, and I've never had such vivid, horrible nightmares in my life. Anyways, they did, like, this guy who practiced voodoo came in, and apparently stuff happened to everybody.